Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news world trade is on the up, but the Americans are on the short end. But first, we will get the February non-farm payrolls report in the US this weekend, and today the precursor ADP Employment Report was released, showing strong growth. New jobs are up 235,000 in this report, higher than the 200,000 expected. Analysts are expecting a 200,000 growth in the non-farm payrolls report, but it is rare for the ADP survey to consistently lead the official data, so an upside surprise is more likely. Today's data may have some analysts raising their bets. American labour productivity data in the December quarter showed output increased 3.2%, but hours worked increased 3.3%, which is not positive. The same data shows labour costs rising 2.5%. The combination of lower productivity and higher costs is likely to spur inflation. The American trade deficit increased to more than a 9-year high in January, reaching $56.6 billion in the month and almost 3% higher than the $55 billion markets are expecting. Exports were down, imports were up. The politically sensitive deficit with China rose to $36 billion. The deficit with Canada rose to $3.6 billion. The US trade surplus in services is stagnant. But in Canada, both imports and exports fell in January, and that lowered their overall merchandise trade deficit despite the US relationship. We'll get the US Federal Reserve Beige Book survey data at about 8 o'clock this morning, and if there is any significant rises, we'll upload those in the story below. Meanwhile, global air freight volumes rose an impressive 8% in January from the same month a year ago. The international volumes rose even more, up 8.6%. These rises came after what was thought to be a strong December, which showed a 5.6% gain. These gains came with strong rises in Europe, US, and in the larger Asia-Pacific markets. China's closely watched foreign exchange reserves fell by 0.9% in February to $3.13 trillion, marking the first decline since January 2017. Later today, China will release data on their February trade balance, and that is expected to show a surplus of $11 billion. Their trade with the rest of the world is largely balanced, except for the US. The Eurozone GDP rose 2.7% in the December quarter of 2017. That was meeting analysts' forecasts. In New York, US Treasury 10-year yield is down to 2.87%. The gold price has fallen back today, down $10 an ounce, $1,325 an ounce. The oil prices are sharply lower too, with the US benchmark down to just under $61 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is just over $64 a barrel. The Kiwi dollar will start today softer as well, at 72.6 US cents. On the cross rates, we're at 93.2 Aussie cents and 58.6 euro cents. That puts the TWI at 73.6. And Bitcoin is now at $9,542, down another massive 11.7% from this time yesterday. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.